The Sci-Horror Film Podcast. Right, hello and welcome to the Sci-Horror Film Podcast. I made me tripping over my own mouth. I'm Andy Walker and I'm joined once again by my good friend Badger. Hello.
Hello, how's it going, everyone? Welcome.
Hello, everybody. How you doing, Badger? You all right?
Yes, not too bad, not too bad. These films are an eclectic mix, so I'm looking forward to this.
They are. It was definitely yeah. I like it sometimes when we mix old and new and different stuff. It's interesting. Yeah, we're doing science fiction this time, and so let's get into it straight away. So we're starting off with a film from, I can't remember what year it was. The battery. It's a film called Accept Your Place.
That's right. Yeah.
It's a film made by it's made by Made Easy Productions, and it's filmed entirely on a Samsung Galaxy S23 Ultra.
I think this was because they did a 12-hour film challenge, and I think I may have even helped someone with their thing, you know.
Okay, I didn't know that. Okay.
Yeah, it reminds me of like a science fiction competition thing where they had to do one in 12 hours. I'm sure it was part of it.
Okay. Well, the synopsis, as it stands for this, says, a man wakes up on a table and proceeds to be questioned by a strange figure. His last memories are trying to clone himself in his laboratory. Had he succeeded, or is something strange going on? In Accept Your Place, we ask the question, what is real awareness? Yeah, I mean, it's cleverly made, given the fact that it was filmed entirely on a mobile phone.
Definitely, and it doesn't, you know, obviously for it not being, was it this year or the year before?
I think it was last year. I'm not sure. I can't remember. I didn't write down the year.
So, you know, you're just about getting to the stage where the phones are nearly beating the video cameras. So
yeah, I mean,
it does look very sharp.
It looks very good. I must admit, I was surprised when I saw that it was filmed entirely on a phone. My only problem with it for me, or one of the only problems with it for me, was the fact that the dialogue, especially with the guy who's laying on the table who was trying to clone himself, it's just a bit too quiet, and you can't really hear clearly what he's saying, you know.
And it feels very, very quick for me. Like you're putting in a lot of information in a very short space of time.
Yeah.
There's no need to make it that quick, you know.
I mean, it's possible that if it is what you were saying, they may have had a time limit.
Yes.
On the film. But I mean, my problem with it being that short is that I don't know if it actually did what they say they set out for it to do.
No, because it's super duper ambiguous. You know, it could be anything, you know. Is the guy on the table the guy that created it all? That's what I leaned towards. It was almost like the clone had woken up the creator. And I was like, no, that doesn't make sense.
Yeah, well, that's the thing. Is the guy on the table the guy who's done the cloning, or is he the clone?
Yeah,
it doesn't really. It's not clear.
It's not clear, and it made me think. When you listen to what they're saying, it does make you think that guy is the creator, or maybe it's the clone that has now done another version of himself to then now create more clones. And I'm like, well, that's even more confusing.
Yeah, absolutely. It was a bit, as you say, very ambiguous. And I think just the fact that it was so short didn't allow time for anything to develop and anything to be explained.
No. And for me, those shorts are about 5 minutes long. So when I helped out with the one I did, it was about 5 to 6 minutes long. So you do have a bit of time to breathe. It doesn't need to be that short, you know?
I think the other thing is that I've watched a lot of short films that kind of you watch and you think, oh, I want to know more of what's going on or what's gone on and all this kind of thing. But to be
Yes.
honest, when I watched this one, I thought, oh well,
Yeah.
it didn't really engage me enough to want to know more.
No. And there was no real background to it. You didn't get any subtext. There
No.
was even a quick sort of Star Wars style blurb at the start to say what year it was or anything like that. You needed a bit more to be invested. I totally agree with you there.
Yeah, so it's a pity because I think, I'm very intrigued when I see films that have been made entirely on cameras because as both of us are people who try and make short films on a very low budget. That
Zero.
sort of thing, that sort of thing is ideal because we can't afford to be spending out money on cameras and things.
No.
So if we can make good films on mobile phones, then it's a plus really.
Yeah. I just think it was one of these things where once again it nearly hit it, but it wasn't quite there.
Yeah,
I
no, I
think
agree.
one more minute of storyline to invest you in. It didn't even need other actors, just a bit more subtext and a bit more world building would have been fantastic.
Absolutely, definitely agree with that. Okay, we'll go on to the second film, which is a bit more out there. Uh,
Very
this is on Dust, and I think it's made by Dust as well. The writer and director of, oh, sorry, the film is called Spiritus Lepus, and the writer and director is Christopher Kiggs Carlson. The cast is Philip Vilfid, Philip Gislin, Evelina Olsen, Christopher Richardson, Jack Kelly, Amelia Clay, Max Krupski, and Isabella Haag. And the synopsis they have for this says, hidden amongst the mythical undergrowth in a grimy operation room, 6 rabbit humanoid surgeons haphazardly fight to save the life of a damaged soul. Now,
yes.
this is a bit crazy.
Absolutely crazy. What I found was it's obvious that the robots, like rabbits, exist within the human world as well.
Yeah,
So I'm like, it's very intriguing. So it's like, who are the main people in the world? From what I got with this one is that the rabbits were the main dwellers of the world and humans are rare. And
yeah,
that's why they were trying to save them, you know. That's what I
yeah.
got from it. But
I
then
don't
also,
know. I
I'm
mean,
like, are they eating them? I don't know.
it was completely, and the weird thing about it was all of the rabbit creatures that were in there in the operating theatre all had a kind of similar look, but the one that brought the human in would look like a human wearing a bag on his head that was made
Yes,
to
it
look
was.
like a
That
rabbit.
was, and that wasn't ever really explained, was it? Was
No,
that one that was like a weird robot rabbit human hybrid? Was that from what I could gather? Was I was like, oh, so is that like the last of the humans? But then it wasn't because there's normal humans there.
yeah,
Like, yeah, it was a bit like, is this some sort of half breed thing? And they don't want to show their face. I got very much, Clockwork Orange vibes.
it's a very strange thing. I gotta say though that I think the masks and the costumes were brilliant.
Oh, they were fantastic. Some of the best effects I've seen for a while.
They were great
Um,
effects and everything. I was
you
blown
know,
away by it, to be honest.
I don't know if you've ever played the game Fable, but it reminded me of that, where you get like a light and it goes on a trail and you walk around and stuff,
All right, yeah, yeah.
So it sort of reminded me of that, of like, So this bit goes to this bit, then this bit goes to this bit, you know?
And the other thing that we're considering, you really didn't have dialogue as such. There were like noises and things going on and that, but it was very well acted.
Mm,
Um, and this one, apart what different to the last one, this one really left me wanting to know more about
I know.
who these creatures are and what are they doing and where do they come from and what's going on, you know?
You know, and where do they fit in with normal humans? Because
Yeah,
all the humans that you saw in it looked like they were coming and going from work. They were all professionally dressed. So I'm like, is this in London? Are they underground in London? And they
yeah,
use like a
it's
weird robotic version of Wombles.
yeah, it's very strange. And the other thing is like, if they're interacting with normal humans, have they always been here or have they arrived from somewhere or you know, and what actually happened to the one that they're trying to save? You know,
You know, the only gist I got was that they had a heart attack because they were opening the ribs and they
yeah,
were trying to get the heart. But I didn't quite get with, they were trying to save it, but they were also using the energy for themselves. And I was like, are they using the energy to power themselves? Or are they trying to save the person? Or are they doing this whole thing where they're going to turn them into some sort of robot rabbit thing?
yeah. I don't know. I mean, there are so many questions at the end of this,
That's it.
and but because of that, and even though it is a bit batshit crazy, uh, I thought it was a really good film.
Yes, really well done, really professional. And like you were saying, it very much had that sort of, it's something I haven't seen for a while, but it was definitely steampunk related.
Yeah,
And the
absolutely.
rabbit side of it was very bizarre. I've not seen that for a while.
No, no, it was very good, and I mean, for me, it was something quite original in the way it was done and everything. And I'd love to know more what the guy who made it, is, the guy who wrote it, what more of what if he's done any more stuff and what he else he's done.
Yeah, because it did remind me of a lot of some of the other films we watched. About the one with the alien invasion and stuff, where it sort of like leaves it very open. I'm like, I want to know more now. What's going to happen next?
Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely.
And it did feel like for me, once again, and we've had a few films like this where it feels like it's the middle of a film. I mean,
Yeah,
where's the beginning? Where's the end? That would be my only criticism is that, let's have a bit more world building. I love the mystery side of it, but it'd be nice to have a bit more closure as well.
yeah. No, I agree. Yeah, it was good though. It was good.
Mm.
Okay, right. On to our feature film, and this week's feature film is from 1979,
Mm.
and it's a film called The Day Time Ended. The writers, the writers are Wayne Schmidt, Larry Carroll, and David Schmoller.
Mm.
The director is John Bud Cardos. Sorry. And the cast is Jim Davis, Christopher Mitchum, Dorothy Malone, Marcy Lafferty, Sasha Ryan, Scott C. Colden, and Roberto Contreras. The synopsis says, and I have to say, I don't know who wrote this synopsis because it, to me, really doesn't explain, it doesn't describe the film at all. Is aliens visit the solar-powered house of a middle-class family, and the house is suddenly sucked into a time warp that transports it back to prehistoric times.
I'm like, that's not what happened at
It's
all.
not what happened. No, I mean the first half of the synopsis is right, but
Yeah.
they didn't go anywhere near prehistoric times. Now, interestingly, the interesting thing about this film is that Natasha Ryan, the same year she made this, she played the little girl. And the same year she made this, she also played she played the daughter in the Amityville Horror.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Christopher Mitchum is the son of Robert Mitchum, famed film star, and Jim Davis, who played the older bloke in this. At the time he made this, was about halfway through the run of playing Jock Ewing in Dallas.
Oh wow, okay.
So it's a bit of an odd mix of people.
Yes, very much so. And you do feel that the sort of connection with each other is a bit clunky in the beginning, but it gets better. I feel the acting gets better the further in the film goes.
Yeah, I will say straight off, I was really surprised. Given this is a 1979 film, I was really surprised about the quality of the film on YouTube.
Yes, me too.
It's incredibly good quality film.
Yeah, because I watched the 4K remaster, and
Oh,
I think it was absolutely fantastic. I was like, wow.
yeah, given the film of its age, it looked brilliant.
I couldn't believe the effects were fantastic. As you know, I'm a big fan of practical effects.
Yeah.
So seeing the dinosaurs and the monsters all come to life, very much love that. And I love the claymation work that was in it.
Yeah, I mean,
spot on.
I think the only thing that let it down a bit for me was the green screen effect of the alien thing where it was moving just didn't quite work properly.
No.
But everything
I
else.
have a question on that one because they don't really explain. You get that the weird talkie toaster was the bad guy. You get that.
Yeah.
But what was the other alien? Was that a good guy?
I think he was a good
really
guy.
explain this.
I think he was a good guy, but I don't know. That's part of the problem. It is a very bizarre film.
Yes.
In a lot of ways. And there's lots of questions I have because it's like when they get to the end bit, I mean, I know I'm jumping forward a bit here, but when they get to the end bit and they all come together, how did the guy Richard get there? Because you don't see him taken in any way. He watches the house with the swirly thing going round it. You don't see him taken, and then all of a sudden he's there. And that's not explained at all. There's a couple of
it's
bits
one of these things where location jumps as well, isn't it? He was in the car miles away from the house, and then all of a sudden he's there with the horses, and I'm like, okay.
Yeah, I get the feeling it may have been edited a bit odd. I did find quite funny when they get there. They get to this place wherever it is they go, and they get the horses and they're riding off on the horses. And the grandma turns around to the granddad says, "Do you know where you're going?" Are they on an alien planet or something? I don't know, but it's like, so how the hell is he going to know where he's going?
Yeah, I mean, I'm like, we've got something along the lines of Jar Jar Binks's Wizard of Oz style underwater wibbly Wizard of Oz town there. How the hell are they going to even know what they're doing? And why are they walking towards it? There's probably more. How do they know they're good guys? I would go, oh, there's a nice looking town that way. Let's have a look. The sequel is going to last 5 minutes because they're all going to get shot in the noggin.
Oh, yeah. I mean, for me, I was looking at it and I was thinking, well, are they still on Earth or are they on an alien planet? Because it looks like an alien planet because there's another kind of planet or moon or something very large behind where they are. But all of the plant life and everything looks exactly the same as the plants around where they were on Earth.
They didn't really explain whether or not the house and like you say, the surrounding area had just been plonked somewhere else.
Yeah.
That was the vibe you got because it kept swizzling around and changing. But the other thing is, was it just going forwards in time? There wasn't enough explanation whether or not it was going forwards in time, backwards in time. And to be honest with you, I didn't even know. They just went, oh, this is a special house. There's a surprise. Yeah. I didn't know it was like a modern one with solar panels and all that sort of stuff. That wasn't really explained well enough for me. I just thought it was a weird triangle.
Yeah, no, I know. It's a very odd house because it looks quite small, but inside it's quite big. But the other thing, it wasn't really, I mean, okay, you kind of accept that they were sucked there somehow from vortex that they were going through or whatever, but it's never really explained where those two monsters came from
No.
or
And what
why
the
they
hell
were
were the weird
fighting.
spaceship asteroids? There was these weird. There was obviously there was the small spaceship, but there was the massive spaceships that looked like asteroids that were going across as well. And I was
Yeah,
like, what are those?
I know there were all sorts of weird things, but that's the thing is, there's no explanation really into as to what was going on, why, or who any of the aliens were.
No, I know. Some of them might have been good. Just because the little girl assumed that it was good doesn't mean it was. I was
Yeah,
expecting it to, come along and, garrot someone.
I mean, let's face it. Anyone that's seen Poltergeist will tell you that, you know, just because the little girl says that there's something nice there, it doesn't mean it is.
Exactly, exactly.
But it's just, and it's, I mean, I don't know, I could be wrong here, but 1979 in America, middle class family have a house in the middle of nowhere with four horses in a separate stable. Is that a usual middle class thing with three cars between the family as well?
And solar panels.
And solar panels, which yeah, must have been quite.
And it was quite a posh house, and they were doing massive steaks as well on the barbecue. And I'm like, this doesn't make sense.
No,
It was very bizarre.
it was very bizarre. But yeah, I don't know. It's like I read the synopsis and I thought, oh, it gets taken back to prehistoric times. Okay, that could be interesting, and that never happened.
That doesn't happen. That doesn't happen. What happens is they go forward in time, if anything, and they go forward in time, and the monsters are there in the future. I didn't think that at all. I didn't go, oh, they're dinosaurs.
No,
I
because
thought they were future
they
monsters.
didn't look like dinosaurs.
No, there's nowhere that I thought, oh, they've gone back in time. I thought
No,
they'd be, if anything, I got the gist, like you say, they were either changing planets or they were going forwards.
yeah,
I never got the gist that they went back. Nowhere in that whatsoever.
it is an odd little film,
Yes, it very much is. And
and the thing that gets me is that most of the time, if it, I don't know if it's a low budget film even because like.
it can't be low
It
budget
was.
because the digital effects were way before its time.
And the other thing is
Way
the fact,
before.
from what I can work out, a lot of the effects and things that were done through by the effects people at MGM. So it must have been done in conjunction with MGM at some point. So
They looked very expensive effects for the time. Yeah, very
I
expensive.
just
And the practical effects were expensive as well. And you're like, and the claymation, that wouldn't have been easy. That would have been expensive.
and the whole quality of the film it is an incredibly good quality film. You look at, I mean, look at films from 1979 that are made on a budget, and most of them do look a bit ropey.
Yeah,
But this one, it's so clear.
yeah. And let's be real, this is 46 years old. And when you
Yeah,
look at, yeah, and
absolutely. It's quite
mad.
incredible. And it, it's one of those films, given how odd it is and the connections to other things and how good a quality it is, I'm amazed that I'd never heard of it before.
I know I've never heard of it before. It's one of these things where like everyone likes the weird films and it's like a cult classic. Everyone always goes on about the creature from the Black Lagoon.
Yeah, yeah.
People talk about that on a daily basis. Friday the 13th, I Spit on Your Grave, The Burning, all these films that aren't necessarily good but have got this cultural thing. Obviously you've got loads of science fiction that is on the edge of everyone's seat. People love all the cheesy sci-fi and all that.
Yeah.
So why is this not where those are?
I mean, I must admit, I mean, by the time I got to the end of the film, I did think, what the hell was that all about? You know, and,
Yeah. And
and
and there was even a bit in there as well. I was like, why is there was sorry, I'm jumping back myself.
yeah, yeah.
The bit that I didn't understand. He was like, we call the police first thing in the morning. And I'm like, why are you calling the police? There's nothing's happened that's bad.
Well, I mean, they go into the house and the house has been kind of turned over, but only one room of the house.
Yeah.
And it's a bit like, what? That makes no sense whatsoever. And
Exactly. Yeah.
they're not going to do anything about that.
No. No, and I was a bit like, why are you calling the police? It doesn't make sense. But yeah, what by the end of the film, you wonder what. And I've watched it twice, by the way, because I was just like, I fell asleep halfway through and woke up at the end, so I had to watch it again.
Yeah.
And I literally was like, I still don't understand completely what's happening.
No, well, I think there are obviously some edits in it that have taken bits out that might have explained a few things.
Yeah, I think they added more effects in. They took out the bad, in their view, the bad scenes and put more effects in. And I'm like, no, more story.
Yeah.
Make it make sense.
And the end of it is very much along a kind of like sort of we're all here together in this completely alien place that we don't know why exactly we're here, but we've been told by the aliens that everything's going to be great.
Were they? No, they weren't.
And you just kind of go, well, but why are you believing them? You know nothing about these people, really.
And also, they didn't. No alien said, here's
No,
what this is.
but that's the thing is they disappeared for a while and then came back and went, they've told us everything's fine.
Yeah, did
Oh,
they?
okay.
And
I know.
also, let's rewind to the very beginning of the film. The older actor did the voiceover to that, and then they distorted it a little bit. So does that mean in the future he's telling people this weird story, and he's not himself anymore? He's like some sort of ominous, omnipotent alien thing, because
Yeah,
that's what they led to. That the older dad would turn into something celestial, and that never happened either.
it's very. I mean, there is so much about it. It is just so odd.
Yeah,
And
honestly, if you watch the blurb at the beginning with the bloke talking,
yeah,
that's the older dad, and
yeah.
it actually sort of alludes to the fact that he transforms in the film, and that never happens.
Well, I suppose the idea is that maybe they were going to do that but ran out of money, or they just kind of like it's like implied that that will happen now that they've gone to this alien city.
Yeah.
You know, but you're
But it
just
was at
supposed
the
to kind
very
of
beginning. You're not going to remember that by the end.
you're just supposed to fill in the blanks. You hurt yourself.
Yeah, because it is never implied. He never gets any powers or anything along the way. They don't carry that on. It's at the very beginning, and then totally forgotten about the rest of the film.
Yeah, it's quite. I honestly, as I got to when I got to the end, it's not a bad. Don't get me wrong. I won't say this is a bad film because there's a lot about it that is really good. By the time I got to the end, I not only didn't know what the hell was happened or why it happened or what was going on, but I wasn't sure I really cared. I'm not sure I cared enough about any of them to really be bothered.
You know, please bear in mind I wasted 4 hours of my life on this film. It's not even. I watched it twice. I watched it twice.
I know it is the things we do. I don't know. But hey ho, I'm glad I watched it because now I can go and say to people, "Have you seen this film?"
This film.
It's, it, you've got to watch this film at least once just so that you can go, "What the?"
It's the sort of film you find on DVD and give it to someone that you don't like.
I don't know. See, that's a film that kind of like will be stored away in my kind of memory for like you've got to watch this film at least once,
Yeah,
just for the experience. Okay. Right, so there were three films. We had Accept Your Place, which we thought was very short and didn't really have a lot of context and it was a bit but okay.
a bit
Spiritus
like,
Lepus,
Tesco value when it should have been luxury.
Spiritus Lepus, which is a slightly crazy film about some kind of some kind of rabbit beings that I really liked it, even though I had no idea what was going on or why, really.
I know it was very eccentric. I loved it.
Yeah. And then the daytime ended, which is a bizarre, odd little film with some great effects and could have been really good. I think somewhere hiding in that film there is quite a decent story, but
Yeah,
it's very well hidden.
they're very well hidden. Very well hidden. You know what would have helped, and I was thinking this is if they'd have expanded, had a bit more information about what was going on in the rest of the world.
Yeah,
You know, it's fantastic that they had the little family, and that reminded me of the first Purge. You know, you're seeing a very small aspect of what's going on in a large situation, but
yeah.
they've not really explained the large situation either.
No, I mean, I mean, the younger guy goes back to the city to go to work, but all you did see is him sitting in his office making a couple of phone calls.
Yeah, exactly.
You know, did he really have to go all the way to the office to do that? He couldn't have done that from the house.
I know. Oh,
It's a strange thing. They must, I mean, although I don't remember seeing one, they must have had a phone at the house because you said about calling the police.
exactly.
So could he not have stayed there and done his few phone calls and not gone into all the way to the office?
Yeah, and also if they'd have been transported back to prehistoric times, the office wouldn't exist.
And the other thing, it's the other thing as well, is if he was going to go when they arrive there, right? They arrive at the house. Um, they go to the house. His wife is there already, and so uh, the other kid and so they turn up there, and he doesn't go into the house or anything. He gives his wife a bit of a cuddle, and then says, "I'll see you later," and gets in the car and goes back to his office. Why did he bother going? Why didn't he just go straight to his office and then come down later?
Any sense?
Well, you know, you drove all this way out into the middle of the countryside just to drive all the way back to the city. Yeah. Anyway, there you go.
So what I want from this film is it 2026 for this to become a cult classic. If me and you have to suffer this pain, everyone should.
Yes, absolutely. I'm gonna recommend it to people. Anybody who's got a film festival, sci-fi film festival. I want you to put this on just as an oddity, just to show it to people and make them watch it.
The sort of thing you put on at 4 o'clock in the morning so everyone can have a nap before they go home.
It's what yeah, it's the last film you put on to clear the cinema out. Okay. Thank you, Badger, for your comments, insight, and everything like that, and for being on the show. We are heading towards the end of the year, slowly and slowly and slowly. One, two, three, four, five more shows left, I believe. And we have horror next time, and then, as per usual, it's going to be sci-fi and horror every other week and all that kind of thing. We've got some interesting things coming up. Next week, because it's Thanksgiving. Next week we will be doing horror. I will be joined by filmmaker Sam Mason Bell, and we will be reviewing the film. Thanksgiving in 2023. Then we have this other sci-fi one, and then the week after that, the next horror one after that, I'm going to be watching. I've been deliberately putting it off and avoiding any comment of it from friends. We'll be watching uh, Guillermo del Toro's version of Frankenstein.
Ooh, interesting.
So yes, going to be good. Okay, thank you very much, Badger. Thank you to everybody out there for watching. Please like and subscribe and promote this wherever you can. Thank you very much. And we'll be back again. Thank you very much. Bye.
Bye.
The Sci-Horror Film Podcast.